Do you?
Take that. We're done with it.
All right,
then. What are you looking at?
I don't see any need in behaving like children here.
No do I. We have a responsibility here. This is a remarkable thing about democracy, that we are notified. That we are notified to come down to this place and decide between a guilty or innocent man without knowing him before. That we don't win or lose anything with our verdict. That we cannot do personal. This is an important point.
Thank you. What do you think? We forget. It's good to be reminded.
I'm glad that we're going to be civilized about this.
Well, we're still nowhere.
No, we're somewhere. We're getting there, maybe.
Maybe.
Who's got an idea?
How about we take another vote, Mr. Foreman?
All right, that sounds like a good idea.
I want an open ballot. Let's call out our votes. I want to know who stands where.
That's a good idea. All right, I'll call out your jury numbers. I vote guilty. 2.
Not guilty.
3.
Guilty.
4.
Guilty.
5.
Not guilty.
6.
Not guilty.
7.
Guilty.
8.
Not guilty.
9.
Not guilty.
10.
Guilty.
11.
Not guilty.
12.
Guilty.
That's 6 to 6.
The vote is 6 to 6.
I'll tell you something. The crime is being committed right here in this room.
I'm ready to walk into that courtroom and declare it a hung jury. There's no point in this going on any longer.
I'd like to know why you changed your vote. And why you changed yours. And why you did. There are 6 men in here who think that we're going to be sending a guilty man loose to the streets. Emotion won't do. Why?
It would seem that the old man did not see the boy run down the stairs. And I do not think that is likely that he heard the boy scream, "I'm going to kill you." Old man's dream. And we have authority of this man to prove that if you say, "I'm going to kill you," it does not necessarily mean, "I'm going to kill you."
Why don't we take it to the judge right now and let the kid take his chances with 12 other guys?
6 to 6. I don't think we're ever going to agree on anything.
And it's got to be unanimous. We're never going to convince him.
At first, I was alone. Now 5 others agree there is a doubt.
You can't ever convince me there's a doubt because I know there isn't.
I tell you what, maybe we are a hung jury. It happens sometimes.
We are not going to be a hung jury.
But we are, right now. A perfect balance. If there is a doubt, I don't see it.
The doubt is there in my mind.
Why don't we take a vote?
What do you mean, vote?
Not again.
I'd just like to know, vote on what?
Are we or aren't we a hung jury?
You mean that we vote yes, we are a hung jury, or no, we are not a hung jury?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
We can never agree that we should be open.
We'll make it a majority vote. Majority wins.
If 7 or more of us vote yes that we're a hung jury, then we take it to the judge and say we're a hung jury?
Right. And if 7 or more of us vote no, we stay in here and we discuss it further.
Doesn't seem right to me.
It's the only solution.
I agree.
It's the only way. Anything to end this.
Are we agreed? 7 or more votes yes and we take it in right now?
Let's call out our votes.
All right. I vote yes, we are a hung jury. 2.
No.
3.
Yes.
4.
Yes.
5.
No.
6.
No.
7.
Yes.
8.
No.
9.
No.
10.
Yes.
11.
No.
12.
Yes.
The vote is 6 to 6.
We can't even get a majority to decide whether or not we're a hung jury.
I went along with the majority vote on this question, and I didn't agree with the voting that way. And I still don't, not really. So I'm changing my vote. I say no, we are not a hung jury. There are still some things I want to find out from those gentlemen who changed their minds.
So we aren't a hung jury, and we go on.
Good. We go on.
Why did you change your vote?
Oh, well,
He made a number of good points and was very reasonable. While he, only got mad and insulted everybody.
Does the anger and the insult change the guilt of the kid? He did do it. Are you going to send a murderer to the streets because one of us gets mad every time he thinks a murderer is being sent loose to the streets?
That's true.
There is a doubt. I don't think so. The tracks are straight in front of the window. Let's take that point. So the L train would have made a low rumbling noise. L trains screech when they go around corners. So the old man could have heard a scream, which is high-pitched, and into tenements, so they have thin walls.
Good, that's it.
And what if the old man was wrong about the time it took him to get to the door, but right about whom he saw running down the stairs? Please remember, there were no fingerprints found on the knife, but it's summer, so gloves seem unlikely.
Now, I want you to be listening to this man. He's got the goods.
Now, it might have taken the murderer a couple seconds to get out his handkerchief, wipe off the knife, and run down the hall and down the stairs to where the old man saw him.
This is a point.
Why don't we time this one to see?
Exactly, what are we timing?
Yes, let's be exact, please.
I'm saying that the old man may have been wrong about the time it took him to get to the door, but right about whom he saw running down the stairs. Now, the murderer might have taken 39 seconds to get out his handkerchief, wipe off the knife, run down the hall and down the stairs to where the old man saw him, the boy that is.
That's right.
We recreated the old man getting out of bed and going to the door, and we timed that. Why don't we recreate the actual murder and time that too?
As well as we can recreate it. I think a murderer could use up 30 to 40 seconds pretty easily at this point.
Let's reconstruct the killing.
Yes, let's.
Okay, where's the knife? How about you? You do the killing.
No, I'll do it.
Okay. You're younger than I am. Why don't you be stabbed? Remember, you take 1 second to fall. 1 second.
He fell on his right side. His right side. So, when you fall on your right side, okay? If someone hates another person enough to kill them, don't you think it's reasonable to assume he would have looked at his victim for a second or two?
Force himself in this particular case. Just human nature.
Yes, it seems reasonable.
Now wait a minute. He falls on his right side, but stabbing someone isn't like shooting them, even if it is in the heart. He would have rolled around on the floor for a few seconds, maybe.
He would have had enough oxygen in his system to keep him going for a couple seconds, I should think.
He kind of screamed.
But what if the boy held his mouth?
This also seems possible.
There's another point we might bring up. Anyone who is clear enough mentally to wipe off the fingerprints also would have been clear enough mentally to look around the tenement, or the room in this case, to see if there were any other clues. It would only be for a second or two, I should think, but still, he would look around the room.
This gets better and better.
One doesn't talk about quality when murder's involved. Well, let's do it.
About this on the fingerprints. You wiped the fingerprints off the knife, right? What about the doorknob? If I saw someone coming into my house, someone that hated me, and he was wiping the doorknob with a handkerchief as he entered, that'd give me an uneasy feeling. So he would have wiped the fingerprints off the doorknob too, and that would take some time.
You timed the last one, why don't you time this one too?
Okay.
Stamp your foot when you want me to start.
Okay. I'm just waiting for the second hand to get on the 60.
I'm gonna kill you.
Come on, 1 second.
I think I can hurt him a little bit more than that.
I think he's doing a good job.
You could be moving a little bit faster.
Come on. Nobody's being cautious about the sound. It's
He
perfect.
would have wiped off all first.
Speed it up.
Stop. Okay. 28. About 29 and a half seconds, I'd say.
And whoever did kill the father, the old man and I think it was the boy, would have had to run down the hall and down the stairs.
You see? You see?
The old man may have been wrong about the time, but in view of this, I think it's very reasonable to assume the old man did see the boy run down the stairs.
So now both time sequences check. The one that you did and the one that we did. Both running downstairs and everything does pretty much check out on time.
Sure, he's an old man who wants attention. He's probably right. But he probably feels the same way the rest of us do. There's a life at stake.
The story of the old man may well be true.
Except for the fact that he swore on the stand it was only 15 seconds.
We all seem to agree it's 25 to 30 seconds later.
You have now admitted that the old man told the truth in one case and lied in the other. I do admit that this does tend to prove the story of the old man, but he is now in part a proven liar, and this by your own admission.
You know, it might be possible that the old man lied in part, but I think it'll change my vote once more. Guilty.
What about you? What do you think now?
I don't know. At first I was thinking guilty. Then I swung to not guilty. I want more talk, because I'm kind of swinging back to guilty.
You? No. That is gonna be some more doubt.
I was right the first time. He's guilty.
Now we're making sense in
The
here.
vote is now 9-3 in favor of guilty.
One more question about the old man who lived downstairs. How many of you live in apartment buildings?
I don't know what you think it, but I know what I think.
What's that?
I don't even know but it's good. We only have a little light bulb to see the steps. Not anymore.
The police officers were using big bulbs. One even had a flashlight, remember?
Yeah. How can old man can see a dark figure in a dark hallway?
He was 100% wrong about the time. It took twice as long as he thought.
Maybe he was 100 wrong. Who is
But that's the most idiotic thing I've ever heard. You're making that up out of thin air.
A long journey, let's be honest about it.
How do you cannot see that it's a truly field for a reasonable doubt?
Yes, I do.
Maybe you don't know what is a reasonable doubt.
What do you mean I don't understand it? Who do you think you are talking to me like that? How do you like this guy? He comes here running for his life, and before he can take a breath, he's trying to run the show. The arrogance of it.
Nobody's asking where you came from.
I was born right here.
Or where your father came from.
Maybe it wouldn't have hurt us to take a few tips from people who come running here. Maybe they learned something we don't know. We're not so perfect.
It's fine. There is a lot of guys like this. That guy.
It's not all right.
Okay. Okay. I apologize. Is that what you want?
That's what I want.
Please, gentlemen, let's stop the bickering. Does anyone have anything constructive to say?
Now, something's been bothering me a little bit. The whole business about the stab wound in the direction it was made, the downward angle of it, you know.
You went over and over that in court. Do you really want to start that again?
Well, I know that, but I just don't go along with it. So, the boy is 5 feet 8 inches tall, and the dad is 6 feet 2 inches tall. That's a difference of
6.
6 inches. Now, it's a very awkward thing to stab down into the chest of somebody who's half a foot taller than you.
Okay, you're not going to be satisfied until you see it again. So I'm going to give you a demonstration. Come here. Now I want you to be watching this. I don't want to have to do this again. Is this 6 inches?
It's more than 6 inches.
Let it be more.
Look out!
That is not funny.
What's the matter with you?
All right, calm down. No one's hurt, are they?
No, nobody's hurt.
There's your angle. Down and in. That's how I'd stab a taller man in the chest, and that's how it was done. And I want you to take a look at it. And tell me if I'm wrong.
Down and in, I guess there's no argument.
Did you ever stab a man?
Of course not.
Did you?
Let's not be silly.
Did you?
No.
Where do you get all your information about how it's done?
It's common sense.
Have you ever seen a man stabbed?
No.
Well, then let me ask you this. This boy was an experienced knife fighter. He was even sent to the reform school for knife fighting. Isn't that so?
That's right.
Now look at this. Doesn't it seem like an awkward way to handle a knife?
No, wait a minute. Give me that knife.
Have you ever seen a knife fight?
Yes, I have.
In the movies?
In my backyard, on my stoop, in the vacant lot across the street. Too many of them. Funny, I never thought of it before. Anyone who's ever used a switch knife would have never stabbed downward. You can't use it in that way. Use it underhand.
Then he couldn't have made the kind of wound that killed his father.
It's conceivable, but it's not likely. Not if he had had any experience with the switch knife. And we know he had a lot of experience with the switch knife.
I don't buy it.
Neither do I. You're giving us a lot of mumbo jumbo.
What do you think?
Well, I don't know.
What about you?
Listen, I'll tell you something. I'm getting a little sick of the whole thing already. Let's just break it off and go home.
Before we decide anything more, I'd like to try and pull this together.
This ought to be good.
Do you want me to time this one too?
Look, I'm in advertising. I'm used to the big shots pulling things together. Let's chip up a few shots and see if any of them land on the green.
I want all of you to look at this logically and consistently.